All right. So, good morning, everyone. This is the pre-market prep where I cover Tesla specifically. I take a look at scheduled red and orange folder news to see what news could potentially negatively or positively impact the market coming into today's session, as well as I take a look at a quick peek at Tesla specific news to see what also could impact Tesla coming into the market session today. All right, so taking a look at today, last week, Friday, we closed at 329.65. All right, we were up 7 points. So that was pretty good. I actually didn't expect that to happen Friday. I was actually expecting that to happen this week, but it happened Friday. So let's see. In the pre market today, we're up 1.59%, up to 334.88. 334.88. So let's take a quick peek at scheduled news. I'm using forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com. And let's see here. So China worried about storage of shortage of soybeans. I hope China will quadruple orders, reducing. So we're still waiting for an agreement between us and China. All right, so let's take a look at scheduled red folder news. We do have red folder news dropping today at 11:30 p.m. So we'll be well out of the market by that time. So doesn't look like we have any news, scheduled news that should impact today's session. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look quickly at Tesla specific news. I'm in tradingview.com and I'm clicking on the news tab. Tradingview.com and I'm clicking on the news tab. So I'm going to take a quick peek at some of the headlines here and see if I see anything of interest that could potentially impact the market today. Tesla shares are up again. The stock has this level in its sights. Paramount, blah, blah, blah. Tesla's benefiting from end of tax credit sales rush. Let's see. This is pretty interesting. The third quarter EV buying rush is on. Tesla recently increased its estimated wait times for its most popular electric vehicle, the Model Y, to 4 to 6 weeks from a recent range of 1 to 3 weeks. It's a signal of more order activity. Higher demand is good news, but there is a catch. This is the last quarter buyers can qualify for the federal purchase tax credit worth up to $7,500. That benefit was eliminated in President Trump's tax and spending bill passed on July 4th. No one knows exactly what will happen to the EV pricing and demand in the fourth quarter when the credit goes away. Tesla CEO Elon Musk warned of some rough quarters ahead on his company's second quarter earnings conference call, referring to the loss of the credit at the time when Tesla's driverless technology was ramping up. So let me see. Coming into the week, blah blah blah. Tesla enters the week with a market value roughly of 1.1 trillion, and this is expected to double. Keep in mind, this is expected to double with some of the transitions that Tesla has in the pipeline. Right, they are transitioning from a automotive company, EV automotive company, to a AI, or excuse me, technology based company. And they'll be adding here shortly the AI arm of their business. So just keep an eye out on that as we stay tuned for future news. Tesla uses AI computing to train its cars to drive and to create useful humanoid robots. So remember, I said they're adding AI to the next arm of their business. So currently 10% energy, 90% automotive, and they're adding the AI arm of things. And the application of AI will be in this robo-taxi service, as we know, launched in June, as well as humanoid robots. So Elon is really focused on making that a reality. So we'll just have to stay tuned for that. And obviously, Tesla still believes in Elon because they just approved this, recently approved his multi-million dollar pay package, right? So let's see. Let me take a quick peek and see if I see anything else, and then I'll pause and see if any of you have any questions. Let's see. Lost money on Tesla. Let's see. Tesla suffering. 2 days ago. All right. So nothing else recently within the past. Let me just do a quick refresh. 14 minutes. What level did the analysts say? What are they looking at? 334 in the pre-market. Blah blah blah. Where are you seeing it going? When they close above. Any daily close above 338 would satisfy the structural requirements for a breakout. Let's take a look at Tesla. Do any of you have any questions so far? Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for the likes. I appreciate everyone. Glad that you're here. Feel free to drop any. What's up, LJ? I see you. Good morning, he says. Let's see who else is in here. Ruth, hey, how's everyone doing? Susanna, what's up? Glad you're here. Let's see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so yeah, let me take a look at Tesla. All right, I want to go over a couple of things. Coming until today. So remember, I talked about how to perform a technical analysis. I've been dropping small nuggets so that everyone who is completely new to day trading can, really begin to grasp and comprehend what's going on, because it's really easy. It's really easy to do. So anyway, let's zoom out and take a bird's eye view. And remember, I talked about how we zoom out in trading view, which is simply to go to the higher time frame. Now, before I go to the higher time frame and zoom out, I'm going to show you that I marked a few key levels out here. So I marked out the 3 white lines that you might see here. Hopefully you all can see this clearly on TikTok Live. And let's see. So let me know if you're having difficulty seeing this. But I have this level here. All right. And this level here. And this was marked out from the daily time frame. And then I have this third level here, which is marked from the monthly time frame. All right, so 347.16, 337.84, and 334.99. All right, so let's zoom out to the higher time frame, because we need these key levels to identify where Tesla could go and where we would look to scale out of our position if we were looking to enter a position today or sometime this week. Now, I'm looking to take a swing position on Tesla based on my bird's eye view technical analysis. All right. So, and I'm going to show you how or why. So if we zoom out to the monthly, let me reset this chart. For those of you who are completely new, I'm on the monthly time frame on the Tesla chart, right? And what does that mean exactly? That means every candle here is 1 month in duration, right? 30, 31 days in duration. And that simply means that it took 30 days to form this candle. This is what the candle did within that 30-day period. So when you look left, remember I said it's very easy to draw out these key levels because you're simply zooming out or zooming in and looking left, right? You look at left to see what the stock did. Price can only go in 2 directions, right? We remember that. Price can only go in 2 directions. So we look left to see what was the highest price or highest price point the stock rose, or what was the lowest price point the stock fell, right? Pretty easy. So when we jump to the monthly time frame, this is the month of August. So hopefully y'all can see this clearly. This is the month of August. This is July, and this is June. All right. So what I'm looking at here is to see, are we going to continue pushing higher on the higher time frame? Are we going to continue to push higher on the higher time frame? All right. So it looks like we have room. It looks like we have room to push higher the month of August. Okay. This is the month of August candle that I'm looking at right here. All right. So it looks like we have room to push higher. Now, how much higher could we push? All right. So I marked out a key level here. Okay. The level that I marked is 347.16, 347.16, because this is where we close. This is the highest point where we closed in May. So this was a few months ago, right? So in May, this is the highest price point we closed recently. Now the stock could fall. It could fall in price a little bit here in August, or it could continue to push higher. Based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like, look at this pullback. So we had this nice push higher in December, and we started to pull back based on news, right? Between Trump and Elon and so forth and so on, Tesla sales and everything else, right? So we started to have this drop in February, March, and then we started to make our way higher back in April, May, and then we fell in June, right? So we fell in June. We're coming back to retest a pivotal level, right? So if we look at this level here on the down close candle, right, that's 260.63. We retested this level. All right. Well, excuse me, not retested. We pushed off of this level, right, as support. We pushed off of this level as support and started to make our way higher. Now, when the trend begins, or here is when the trend began, but now we're hoping that the trend continues, right? So hopefully we don't, break structure. It looks like the trend is still continuing higher, right? Here is a lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, higher, or excuse me, higher low. Sorry. I think I need some coffee. I don't even drink coffee, but anyway, let's see. We have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? Higher low. And so it still looks like we're trending higher. Okay, this is what we're looking for. We want to we want this trend to continue higher, and we do have room. Now, what I'll be looking for is the reaction off of 347.16. The reaction off 347.16. We're currently at 335.95. 335.95. All right. So that's $12 away. What does that tell me? That tells me that from today on forward to for this week, right? Today and this week, we have room to push higher. So I could potentially capture, profits within that $10, $12 move. Okay. And if the stock continues to push higher and create a new high of day above 405.32, then I could capture, those gains as well. So I'm going to look to enter a swing trade for Tesla at this point. All right. I'm going to look to enter a swing trade for Tesla at this point. Because we do have room, and I'll be waiting for the reaction. I'm going to enter today and wait for the reaction off of the, like I said, 347.16. So I'm going to stay in the position by like 40 days, a 40-day position, right? That means the contract position will not expire until 40 days, right? All right. So if I zoom out, or excuse me, zoom in to the weekly, take a look at the weekly. Let me stretch this out a little bit. Well, actually, first, hold on. Let me zoom in and show you. On the weekly pattern, on the weekly time frame, we're still trending higher. So we have time frame confirmation, right? We started with them. We zoomed out, took a bird's eye view, started with the monthly. Now we're zooming in a little bit more on the weekly chart. The weekly chart is also showing that Tesla is looking primed for continuation higher, for a push higher, right? So if we zoom in a little bit more to the daily time frame, remember, every candle on this time frame represents 24 hours in duration. That means it took 24 hours for each candle on this time frame to form. All right. So if we look at the daily time frame, same thing. Bit of consolidation, right? So far, bit of consolidation, and we look prime. Tesla looks prime for continuation higher, right? We're still trending higher. All right. So let's zoom in to the 4-hour check. Do a quick peek. Same thing, consolidation. We are pushing higher in the pre-market though. We are pushing higher in the pre-market, so keep that in mind. 1 hour time frame. Same thing, right? Consolidation. So we have the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frame, all showing consolidation, right? Looking primed to gather more momentum for a push higher, right? And so I marked out on the daily time frame the highest point the stock price rose last week, right? So in July. So I marked this out. I marked this out. All right. So I have the monthly, the daily, and then I went to the 15-minute time frame to mark out this point of resistance. So I want to show you all this. Let me zoom out, stretch this out a little bit so you all can see this. All right. So now here's the kicker, right? What else am I using for confirmation? Well, if you take a look at a couple of points here, hopefully, can you all see this on TikTok Live? Let me know if you're having difficulty seeing these 4 points here on TikTok Live. And I'll try to zoom in a little bit more because you need to be able to see this clearly. Can you all see this okay? Let me know if you're having any trouble seeing this clearly. LJ says yes. You said no? Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more, right? How is that? Let me zoom out. Okay, hopefully this is better. Now, keep in mind, I'm still the problem with streaming on TikTok Live is that yeah, I can't share my screen because they require that you have a certain number of followers before they provide you with a stream key. With that stream key, then I can simply share my screen from some other software, which will make it much easier to see these screens. So you said it's good. Okay, cool. Yeah. So in the future, hopefully, I'll reach 1,000 followers pretty soon, and then I'll be presented with that stream key so I can share my screen instead of streaming live from the device itself. All right. So anyway, so let's take a look at this. All right. So what we have, July 21st. Remember, we're zooming in, but we're still looking left to see what did Tesla do. Okay, what did Tesla do? So July 21st. This was the point. This was the point where we rejected. Tesla rejected off of this level. This is 334.99. This is the first time we rejected off this level. All right. So we tried to make our way back and push higher beyond 334.99. But again, we failed, right? Tesla failed to break this. And this was July 22nd. This was the second time we tried to push higher. All right. So then after July 22nd, we tried to make our way above 334 again. We were able to break slightly, and this is July 23rd. So this is the following day, July 23rd. All right. So we were able to push higher and break beyond, but not too much. We pretty much sellers stepped in aggressively and pushed the price lower, much lower, right? Look at how far we fell. All right. So now I'm going to zoom over, fast forward. Okay. Look at this point. We tried to recover, right? This is what's considered or described as a V-shaped recovery. We tried to recover and push higher, still fell way short of this point of resistance. So we touched here 4 times already, 4 times, and rejected off this level and didn't even get close the 5th time, right? So now, if let me scroll over, fast forward to August. Look at August now. August, the 6th time. This is the 6th time. All right. This was Friday, last week, Friday. We tried to push above this key level or point of resistance. All right. Again, this is 334.99, or let's just make it around even number 335. All right. So we tried a 5th time to break beyond this point, or 6th if you want to count this. I'm not counting this right now, but so fifth time we tried to break. But look at where we are today in the pre-market. So let's zoom in now and into the pre-market time frame, right? Today's pre-market. So I'm going to zoom in. So we rejected off initially Friday, right? We rejected off Friday and started to push our way lower. But now look at the pre-market. In the pre-market today, we gapped up. So here's where we closed in the post market at 330. We gapped up to 333, and now we're pushing higher. Look, it looks like buyers are pushing the price higher. Let me zoom in so you all can see this more clearly on TikTok. Hopefully you all can see this more clearly on TikTok. All right. Let me zoom out. All right. So that should look better. All right, so here's where we closed Friday, right? At 7 o'clock, 330, all right? $330. We gapped up today. The pre-market opened at 3 a.m. Central, 4 a.m. Eastern, right? So we gapped up to 333. That's a $3.21 move. And we're still pushing higher. We just broke in the pre-market, we just broke above the previous day high. This is that point of resistance. So we've already broken above the previous day high, aka also the key resistance level coming until today. And so this week, I'll be checking the reaction off of this resistance level. All right, will we continue to push higher or lower? Now, coming until today, let me know if you all have any questions. I'll pause briefly to see if any of you have any questions. I'll give it 60 seconds before I continue to see if anyone has any questions whatsoever before I proceed. All right, cool. All right, so taking a look at today, seeing the activity of Tesla in the pre-market, and this rule is true, right? This application is true for any stock that you decide to trade, right? You simply zoom out to the higher time frames and look left. See what the stock has done in the past, right? You look for the previous close, previous day, or previous week. And then if you're not really seeing too much activity within the previous day or previous week, then you continue to look further left, right? And check, the previous month, go as far back as a month if you need to. Because again, you're on the month. If you zoom out to the monthly time frame, that's easier to do, right? And then you start to zoom in and take a look to see if you have lower time frame alignment. Okay, what does the weekly time frame show? What does the daily time frame show? And then you mark out those key points of resistance. And we did that. So we marked out 3 key levels. We marked out a pivot point on the monthly. We marked out a pivot point on the daily, and then we came to the 15-minute time frame, marked out 4 or 5 key points of resistance to see, all right, look, Tesla's making its way higher. Is it going to break beyond this point of resistance? And if it does, I'm going to look to swing trade it for the next 40 days. So I'm going to take a really, really small amount to swing trade it to show you all just how much money you can make, on this particular swing trade. All right. So when I look at today's pre-market activity, look, we're still pushing higher. We're still pushing higher. Sellers tried to fight back a little bit here. Let me zoom in so you all can see this. Look, so we're still pushing higher. We're still above. We just closed twice above the previous day high in the pre-market. So this candle here and this candle here. I'm on the 15-minute time frame. So this is really good news. All right. I'm on the 15-minute time frame. So every candle here is 15 minutes in duration. And what I'd be looking for coming until today is hopefully a little bit of consolidation, right? I don't know why this tool is drawing like this. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not really sure why it's doing this ziggly. Anyway, let me choose a different tool because I want to make sure this is. So here's what I'll be checking for coming into the market today. A little bit of, consolidation at the open. And then hopefully, right? Hopefully we stay above the previous day high in the pre-market, right? And so I'd like to see, a reaction off of the previous day high coming into the open today. All right. So I'm going to provide you with 3 scenarios that I'm looking for today. Okay. So this is the first scenario. I like to see some consolidation before we push higher, right into the open, and then really bounce off of this point of resistance, right? That I talked about, this point of resistance with strong momentum, right? So I'd like to see buyers stepping in, right? Defending this key level of 335, all right? I want to see buyers defend this key level of 335, step in aggressively to continue pushing this price higher. And if that happens, then I'll also look to day trade it. But I'm going to look to enter into 2 positions, right? A swing trade position as well as a day trade position, depending on what happens in the, what continues to happen in the pre-market coming into the open for today. The next thing that could happen is we could push higher. Oops. We could push higher right at the jump, right at the open, right? We could push higher, break well above the pre-market high. Tesla is known for this, right? Currently, the pre-market high is sitting at 336. And you can see, look, wow, look, even in the pre-market where we might even have that happen. Okay. So we might even make a new pre-market high, given the speed and momentum of this current 15-minute candle. All right. But what I'd be looking for at the open is a similar push, right? That we just saw recently, a second ago, right? A similar push higher, right? And then I'd like to see, a pullback towards this level, right? We don't have to tap it exactly. We could even break a little bit below it. This is fine, but I'd like to see, buyers hold the pre-market high in this second scenario, right? For a push higher. I want to see buyers step in aggressively, hold this pre-market high level of 336 and push the price higher. Again, those will be the 2 ideal scenarios that I'd be looking for coming until today. A third scenario that could happen, if we zoom back out. Remember, I said we did gap up today in the pre-market. So that was $3 in change we gapped up, right? So that was a $3 move higher in the pre-market. So what could happen is Tesla could fall, very aggressively right at the open and continue to fall to fill this gap because those sellers could sell off to lock in profits. So we could fall and close the gap that we created in the pre-market today. All right. So that is the third scenario that could happen. Now, let me zoom out just a little bit. Oops. Nope. Zoom out just a little bit. Now, this here, what I'd be looking for is the reaction off of this key level here, right? So this was the lowest point where we closed Friday, all right? So I'd be looking for the reaction around this pricing zone to see if buyers will step in. If this third scenario does happen, right, I'll be looking to see the reaction off of this point because between let's just say 327 and 330. This is the pricing zone I'd be expecting a reaction to see if buyers will hold this level and push the price back high or higher towards the pre-market low again, or if sellers will step in, continue to step in aggressively and push the price lower towards the previous day low. All right. So I wouldn't want to see it come. I wouldn't want to see this third scenario, right? But what I'd like to see right at the open is a strong push higher or some consolidation and then reaction off of the this key level of 335. So really not looking for the third scenario, but if it does happen, I really don't want this will be to me considered the last point of defense or last line of defense at this three, what is three, let's just say 327. Okay, 327. All right. Um, any questions? Any questions about that information so far? Nope. I'll give it 60 seconds, 60 seconds. And then I want to talk briefly about today's agenda and a couple other things. So I'll give it 60 seconds to see if anyone has any questions. If anyone has any questions. What's up, Island Child Creations? I see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Appreciate the likes, appreciate the follows. Any questions? Any questions? All right, so just to recap, I am looking to take two positions on Tesla today, right? One swing trade position and one day trade position if the stock price, if the stock does what I expect it to do based on my higher time frame thesis, all right? So I marked out a key level of resistance. So it looks like we've already broken above that point of resistance where we rejected off of it previously 5 times. 5 times. All right. So we finally broke above that point of resistance. And so today I expect to push higher, and we have plenty of room to push higher. We have 337, and we also have 347, right? And so we can also mark out some levels in between here, but we do have room to put higher. I'm only primarily concerned about this point here of 347 because this is a longer term position, right? That I'll be taking, right, for my swing trade, all right? 40 days, 30 days, or what have you, 30 to 40 days is what I'm looking to enter today. All right. So that was a recap for what I'm expecting for Tesla coming until today. And I also took a swing trade for AMD last week. Let me take a quick peek at AMD and see where we are. All right. So I might suffer a little bit of a drawdown coming until today because we dropped significantly from where I entered my AMD swing trade. So I entered 2 AMD swing trades, one at the open, so that was here, and then another one here at this point at 171. So 171 and 174. So I took 2 swing trades and we dropped all the way down to 166. So I'm going to experience a drawdown on that. So this was Friday, or what was this, Thursday? Thursday's low. Thursday's low. So we dropped all the way down to Thursday's low. We are pushing higher. We just broke previous day high. So this was Friday's, or excuse me, not previous day high, previous day low. This was Friday's low. All right. And we are pushing higher above the previous day low, which was Friday last week. So hopefully we continue to make our way higher. There is room. I did check the same thing. Zoomed out to the higher time frame, checked the higher time frame from the monthly to the weekly, daily, and so forth. And so we do have room for AMD. So plenty of room for AMD to push higher. So I got in. I am expecting, I was expecting drawdown for AMD. So this isn't a surprise. So yeah, we'll see what happens coming until today. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen. What else is on the agenda today? So on the agenda today is I'm going to go live to Grant access to watch my mentor trade the break and retest strategy live, right, in action. All right, so you can see that close up. So for those of you who are completely new to day trading and you want to see how the break and retest, how we use the break and retest, I'm granting live free access to watch my mentor trade the break and retest strategy today, and that will be at 8:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so I do this every week, same time, Monday. All right, 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So you can tune in, take notes, ask questions. If you have any questions about what you're seeing, what you're hearing, then feel free to DM me those questions, and I will happily answer those questions based on what I've learned so far. And if I can't answer your question, then I will forward those questions over to my mentor for him to answer those questions, and then I'll relay the answer back to you. All right. So if you're looking to learn, here's your opportunity to do so free of charge. All right. Here's your opportunity to do so. All right. So I don't do any form of gatekeeping, and I don't require you to do anything if you're interested. If you're simply interested in learning how to begin day trading stock options, now's your opportunity. All right. So that's on the agenda for today. And then later this week, I'll be doing a live mock trade on Wednesday. So I'll do this every week, Wednesday, all right, at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. Or excuse me, sorry, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm tripping. 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, all right? If you can't catch either of these live sessions, right, today, Wednesday, or even my pre-market preps in the morning at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern, you can feel free to DM me to request a link to the replay folder. All right. So I store all of the replays in this replay folder, so you have access to past replays as well as any future replays. So if you can't make any of the sessions, you will have access to the replays. All you have to do is DM me for the link, and I will send you the link so you can access those replays. All right. Let's see. Any questions? That's the agenda for this week. And let's see. I think that's it for me. So again, I'll be going live in the next hour or 45 minutes. The next hour or 45 minutes. So I'll hang back if any of you have any questions so far. If any of you have any questions. Appreciate you all for joining. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the follows. All right. And no worries. Appreciate you, LJ. And like just a quick reminder, right? Just a quick reminder for those of you who are completely new to day trading, all right? It's important that you practice first with paper trades, all right? Every brokerage should have the feature or an account that allows you to practice risk-free, all right? It's my recommendation that you take full advantage of this because it's free to create an account, right, with these brokerages. It's free for you to paper trade, right? So you can create an account, and it will include a separate account where it would allow you to trade live, take live trades with just paper money, not real money. So you can become familiar with how this works, right? Because two things that you want to look at, right, is when you enter a position, you may experience a drawdown on that initial position. So as an example, if your position was $100, you may experience a 10 to 20% drawdown as soon as you enter the position. And there's a few reasons why that could occur, but paper trading in practice will allow you to see that and have a calculated average over the course of some number of trades, right? So whether that you trade 30 days in a row or 1 week in a row, right? you'll be able to average what that drawdown amount is based on your entries and refine your strategy, right? To help you identify those lower risk entries, okay, if you will. Miss Nika, what's up, Miss Nika 81? You said you're new. How can I help you today, Miss Nika? Do you have any specific questions? I'm happy to help, um, in any way possible, right? I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. So I'm glad you're here. All right, what questions do you have? You can feel free to ask any questions, any number of questions. Where do I go to trade? So, good question. Now, you need a what's called a brokerage account to begin trading, right? To enter your position, right? So, you have a few options. Well, not a few options. You have many options actually, but I'm going to give you the popular platforms that people use. Thinkorswim, which is the one that I use. You can use Robinhood, Webull, or IBKR, right? Interactive Brokers. And so that one of those platforms, you could choose from either of those platforms. And what you would do is simply connect your financial institution of choice to that platform so you can transfer your money from your financial institution to your brokerage. Okay, so you have Robinhood. Okay, cool. So do you already have your financial institution connected to it? Did you already link your financial institution to Robinhood, your bank? I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Did you already transfer funds to your Robinhood account from your bank? Did you already transfer funds? Yes, but I haven't made any purchase. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So the reason why I asked is to make sure that you didn't have any issues with connecting or linking your financial institution to your brokerage account. So if you already have that set up and squared away, you're good to go. Now, the only thing you want to do next is to begin paper trading. All right. So to do that, you need to first identify what strategy you want to use. All right. And there are plenty strategies to choose from. The strategy that I use is called the break and retest strategy. Break and retest strategy. All right. So you want to select a strategy that you want to use to begin trading in the marketplace. And there, like I said, there's plenty. Now, here's the thing: you don't want to start, select a strategy day one and then switch to another strategy day two and then switch to another strategy day three and so on. All right. So you don't want to do that. You want to pick one strategy and stick to it. Now, that's something I do not know. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. You want to pick one strategy and you want to stick with it for a period of time. Let's say 1 year. All right. Because it'll really take you 1 year before you really start to master it. It doesn't mean it'll take you 1 year before you become profitable, but it will take you at least 1 year to 2 years before you really fully master it. All right. So, yeah. So, you need a strategy. Again, I use the break and retest. So, you can do your homework today, um, via Google or ChatGPT and just ask it to explain the break and retest to you as it would using simple language, right? And this is the prompt that I like to use when I use ChatGPT. I say, hey, explain it to me as you would an eighth grader using simple language. All right. So it'll take any concept of day trading and then explain it to you using simple language. Okay. So this is the approach that I use when I use ChatGPT. So the break and retest strategy, that's a little bit of homework that you can use today. All right. That you can do today. Next is you want a mentor. You want a mentor. You want to select a mentor to learn from. I would not be considered a mentor. I know that there's been many people who've been joining my live. They like the way I explain things. And that's great. I'm here to help and answer any questions for free, no gatekeeping. As many questions as you feel necessary to ask, I will answer them. But you need to select a mentor. My mentor is Scarface Trades. Scarface Trades. All right, I'm going to pull this up so you can see. The mentor I use is Scarface Trades. Let me see if he's already on my. Oh, let me pull him up. Scarface Trades. Okay. So this is his information. Okay. This is his information. Scarface Trades. Now, I ran across his video. I think it was let's say February, maybe February or March, February or March. And this is the first video that I ran across. It's in this playlist. It's available in this playlist, right? And this is a beginner-friendly playlist from beginner to pro. So I'd recommend checking out these videos. But let me show you the one particular video that I first watched. It was this one here. Let me see if I can zoom in. It was this one here. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It's really good. Now, he's a young man. I'm 46 large, all right? I'm 46 years of age. He's only 24. He's been day trading for 7 years. He's a multimillionaire. He's verified, all right? This young man is really, really good. He has a degree in economics and finance, right? So he uses simple language to explain these concepts. So I highly recommend checking out this video. And what you can do is I can gladly help fill in any knowledge gaps, right? So because I've already watched many of these videos and I took very thorough, comprehensive notes. So I have a really good, solid understanding of how this works. So this is the video that I would recommend that you watch. How to start day trading as a beginner in 2025. This is a really, really good video and really easy to follow because like I said, he uses very simple language to explain these concepts. All right. Now, today we're going to go live. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but today I'm going to go live at 8:30 to grant free access to watch him trade the break and retest strategy. Okay. So we will be live to watch him do this. So if you can't make that live session at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, just DM me for the replay, and I'll make the replay available as soon as the session ends. Okay. So you need a mentor. Now, this is my mentor, and you're welcome to use him as a mentor because I paid for his mentorship program back in the latter part of April, and I paid $3,500 to join his mentorship program. It's a one-time fee and it's lifetime access. All right, his community, his traders lab is very, very thorough and extensive, and it's amazing. Right, so let me give you really quick my results. When I first came across this video, I began day trading that week, day trading Tesla that week, and I made $20,000 just from watching that one video. All right. And this is no cap. This is all real. I have the proof in my brokerage account for anyone who needs to see this. I have the proof. All right. I made 20,000 that week. Now, since I joined his mentorship in the latter part of April, I've been recording my trades in a free journal called Stunk Journal. And I can show you my stats. So since the latter part of April, since I joined his mentorship, remember I paid $3,500. Look at how much money I've made since I've joined his mentorship. All right. So 11.3K. All right. And this is a significant return on my investment, right? If I paid $3,500 in April, it took me a little bit to learn how to trade, right? To really grasp the concept of day trading stock options. So I started making some money right at the beginning of April, but then I made some some large mistakes, right? lost 3,300, lost 3,200, lost 3,400. Then I slowly started to make my way back up again. So coming into June, this is June, right? This point is June. Let me zoom in so y'all can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So this is June, right? Coming into June, this is when I really all the concepts really started to make more sense to me because, like I said, their resources is phenomenal, right? And they do these weekly recaps every single week. And I do have these in the replay of those weekly recaps in my replay folder. So if you want to see those, I highly recommend you check it out. Why? Because what they do is they spend an hour to an hour and a half answering questions from all the newbie traders, right? So, I mean, they're asking so many questions. We're asking so many questions, and they will spend an hour to an hour and a half every single week just answering all of those questions with visual aids or visual explanations, right? So it's amazing. So it didn't take me long to really nail down how day trading stock options work before I began to become profitable, all right? So as you can see, if you look at the rest of this curve, equity curve here, since June, yeah, everything, it just really started to click. All right. Everything started to click. So I decided to go live and start to explain for free to anyone who's interested in learning. So that's what I'm doing because I know that many people may not have the budget to pay for a mentorship like that. And it's really, really good. So once you do make enough money, you get to that point where you can, I highly recommend joining his mentorship program. But yeah, so that's what I decided to do is to go live and provide this information for free to anyone who's interested in learning. All right. So I can help fill in the gaps, answer any questions that you have, and those that I can't, I'll forward over to him to get those answers. So you need a mentor. So those are the things that you need. You need a strategy, and then you need a mentor, and then you can begin practicing that strategy, paper trading through Robinhood, as often as you have. All right. So are you working a 9 to 5, or what's your availability? Do you have availability to day trade, or are you looking for longer term trades? Which one do you prefer? Because you can use the break and retest, by the way. You can use the break and retest for either of those. All right. So whether you want to day trade or take longer term position trades. So which do you prefer? Do you have time to day trade or okay, cool, cool, cool. All right. So yeah, do you have time to check out today's live session? Because it's going to be at 8:30. So in another 30 minutes is when we're going to go live. So you can watch them. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah. So yeah, with that said, I highly recommend, and I do this every week. So I don't know if you heard me, Miss Nika 81. Did you hear me? I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I go live to grant free access to watch my mentor trade live every week, Monday at 8:30. Okay, at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, every week at Monday. All right, and these sessions are usually 1 hour to 1.5 hours because they're in and out. Like he doesn't play; he's in and out. So yeah, 1 to 1.5 hours. All right. And that's every week, Monday. Okay. Same time. And then if for whatever reason, if you have to drop early, you'll always have access to the live replay. All right. So if you miss it, you'll always have access. Okay. Um, Secondly, every week, Wednesday, I go live to do a mock trade. Right. So we do a mock trade every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. All right. Every Wednesday, every week, Wednesday. Okay. And then throughout the week, you can continue to study the replay. And if you have any questions, just DM me those questions. If I can answer them, then I'll go ahead and answer those questions. And if not, like I said, I'll forward them over to my mentor for them to answer it. So, but that's the weekly agenda. That's what's on the schedule every single week. So if you're interested in watching to see if this is the strategy that you want to use and this is the mentor that you want to go with, you are more than welcome to tap in every single session. It's free to do so. I will put that on my calendar. Cool. Great. 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 Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other questions? Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the follows. Glad you all were able to tap in today. Let's see. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other questions? All right. If we do, I'm not in a rush to end the live. I could sit here on the live till we start the other session. Let's see. So, do I follow you to watch the live? Yeah, because they don't have it. They don't have it publicly available. So yeah, you'll have to, just join my live anytime you see the live. If you do follow, now you don't have to follow my channel to watch the live. I go live at the same time every single week, like I said. So if you see me live, obviously you can just tap in. You're not required to follow me or like any of my content in order to access it. But that's up to you. On my channel, I strictly provide information or content related to finance. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, yeah, definitely follow the channel. But yeah, you can just tap into the live anytime you're ready. Let's see. Good question. Good question. Very good question. Let's see. Any other questions? Anyone else? I guess we could do like a Q&A if you want to do a Q&A for the next, 20 minutes, we could do that too. So if you want to do a Q&A, if you guys are interested in a Q&A, we can do that. If not, if you don't have any further questions, then what we could do is I can leave this live active. And then you can feel free to take a break, go grab some coffee or whatever, and do that. It's up to you guys. But the live will start at 8:25. So in 22 minutes, the live session with my mentor will start in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. So you have time to take a break if there are no additional questions. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate you all. Thank you all for the support. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, so I don't see any other questions. So remember, we're going to start in 21 minutes. I'll keep the live active, so you don't have to just rejoin. I'll keep this live active, and just know that you have time. You got 21 minutes before the session begins with my mentor. All right, 21 minutes. So I'm gonna hang here and answer any questions in case any of you have any. Let's see. I do have a question. How much money did you start trading with? Oh, awesome. Awesome question. Awesome question. Let me show you. Let me show you in my journal. All right. So what I did initially when I made that 20,000 that first week, I was trading with position sizes of 10K, like between 10 to 25K. Because it's really easy to make money, like large sums of money very quickly if you have larger positions, right? Larger position sizes. But the following week, I did something very silly and ill-advised, Miss Nika. I did something very silly and ill-advised. All right. Now, prior to trading Tesla, I had watched it for an entire year, starting in 2024. I just began day trading it in April, right? In April. And so I made that 20,000, and these were just Tesla trades. But a friend of mine came along later I think it was the following week, and was telling me about this other ETF called SPX. And he was like, "Oh man, you should trade SPX because you could really make more money." Yeah, you said you're small. Yeah, no, that's fine. And that's really good, Miss Nika, because I'm going to show you here something very, very interesting that's game changing for you, right? That's going to blow your mind. So yeah, he told me about SPX, and I started to trade it. And long story short is I lost that $20,000 that I made because I wasn't familiar with that stock and how it moved, right? And so I lost that 20,000 plus 25,000 of my own money, right? Of my own money, right? So that's when I decided to get serious about trading stock options and learning what to do exactly. And so that's when I joined my mentors. Right, I know it's crazy. That's when I joined my mentors mentorship program. And so what I decided to do was let me log into Thinkorswim. I want to show you this, and you can follow along if you have since you have Robinhood. Open up Robinhood if you have the opportunity. If you can open it up. I don't know if you're on your mobile device, but if you can open it up, you can follow along with me. I'm going to log into Thinkorswim, and I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to show you visually as I explain, so that way it makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Kim says, "What's up, Kim Evans 302? Glad you're here. I've been trading on Thinkorswim paper trade, been having wins so far, but very nervous." Yeah, let's talk about that, Kim. I'm glad you're here. Super, super glad that you're here. Let's talk about that. Let's see. To try my money. Yeah, no. And it's funny because I just talked about this last week. And so I'm going to touch on that here in just a second. Let me log in. Okay. Yeah, I just talked about that last week. So I'm going to touch on that now. Let's see. So I just logged into Thinkorswim, and I want to show you something. I want to show you all something. So let me know if you all can see my screen clearly. All right. So if you can see my screen clearly, okay, you can. Okay, great, great. I'm in Tesla. All right. And if you're in Robinhood or Webull, whatever, you can follow along as well, or just watch my screen. Okay. All right, cool. Kim says yes as well. Cool. All right. So I'm in Tesla, for example. Right. And the perception is that, oh man, I can't trade Tesla because the contracts are too expensive. And I've seen people even in my mentorship program uh make make the same statement, right? And so, what was curious to me is when I came to the option chain and I would select a particular row, right, or expiration time frame of any time frame, it doesn't matter in this explanation, in this example. But I started to notice in the ask column that there were several choices to choose from, right? And I was wondering, why didn't I hear anyone talk about these? Right. And I was like, so what are these contracts? And why aren't anyone talking about these particular contracts? Now, to be clear, the contracts that we typically trade with Tesla are these contracts, right? So I'm going to talk about this delta. It's okay if you don't understand it. I created a video yesterday that talks about how these work. Okay. So it's available on my channel. You can watch it because I go over it in detail. I go over this example in detail, but I'm just going to briefly recap what I mentioned in that video. Is you do day trade? Let's see, you trade on Robinhood though, long holds. Yeah, yeah. Because the break and retest strategy that I use, it works on either, right? You can use it for day trading or longer term positions. It works either way. So with Tesla, now look at this example, okay? The contract for Tesla is $570. $570. To get that dollar amount, all you do is move the decimal over two places to your right, right? This is the same, this is true for any stock, right? If you want to get the true price, just move the decimal over two places to your right. All right, so the highest contract is almost two grand, right? 2 grand. And I was wondering, well, do people buy these cheaper contracts? And I didn't hear anybody talk about these. All right. I didn't hear anybody talk about these. So I decided to conduct my own research. All right. So here's the short of it all. In my day trading journey, after losing 25,000 of my own money, I decided to really focus on learning and to test these lower delta cheaper contracts to see, can you make money with these, and how much can you make if you can make money. And so for the past, since April all the way up till now, right, from April till now, I've been trading these cheaper contracts, and I was able to generate over $11,000 just trading the cheaper contracts, even though I have the money to trade, larger positions. I could do 10K, 20, 30, 40, 50K positions, same as my mentor. But I've been testing for the past 3 to 4 months these cheaper contracts to see if they work, so I can share with anyone who has a lower budget, to show them, yeah, you can make money with just as little as $100 to $500. Yeah, you can still trade Tesla and make money because I've been doing it, and it's very, very doable. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you all. Uh, that you can buy these cheaper contracts, right? And you can make money because I've been doing it for the past 3.5, 4 months. So let's see. Yeah, and I understand why you may be nervous, Kim, because I also was nervous, right? I was nervous. Um, Anytime that I trade, have you ever thought about this? Have you all ever thought about this? I want to ask you this. When you're paper trading, when you're paper trading, there you may have started with a particular amount, right? I don't know what amount you started practicing paper trading with, Kim, but let me know in the live chat, what amount did you start with? Let me know in the live chat, what amount did you start paper trading with? What I noticed while I'm waiting for you to put that in the live chat, what I noticed when I was paper trading is that there was no emotional connection to those paper trades or the amount that I was trading via paper trade. There was no emotional connection to it, right? So whether I won or lost, especially if I was losing, it really didn't make me feel any type of way, right? And so as that happened, and when I went to transition to a live trade with my real money, I'm like, yo, why do I feel so nervous? Why do I feel so frantic about taking these positions? And the more I started to realize that I didn't want to lose any money. I didn't even want to lose a dollar, right? And Kim says, I did my first trade with you on Nvidia. It was a small trade. Okay, cool. Was that live or just paper? Was that the paper trade? Yeah, let me know if that was a live or paper trade. And let me know what amount you've been practicing with. Paper? Okay, cool. What amount did you use? What amount did you trade with? What was the position size total? If you remember, or even just a ballpark estimate. And what I saw or realized, excuse me, what I realized when I transitioned from practicing, trading via paper money to trading with my real money is that there was no emotional connection. And so what dawned on me, right? The light bulb went off and told me, revealed to me that this idea, right? Where 10 contracts for about $87, 87 per contract. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, I like that. $87 per contract. So $870. So your possession size was $870. Okay, cool. Yep. Yep. All right, I got you. Now, keep that amount in mind, right, Kim? Keep that amount in mind. So for a position size of $1,000, that might make you feel nervous because you're like, man, I want to make some money. I want the opportunity to make some money, but I don't really want to lose too much money. I don't want to lose any money at all. but I don't want to lose too much money, and I'm not really sure how to protect myself. And so there's a few ways I talked about how to protect yourself when day trading stock options, which is why I started testing these cheaper contracts. And so what I realized was this. All right, very quickly. Here's the thing that I realized is that when I'm paper trading, I didn't care. I didn't feel any emotional connection. And what that caused me to do was to look at an amount of money, real money, that would make me feel the same way, right? Where I wouldn't have any emotional connection to that amount. And for me, uh, I had to come up with that amount. And for you, you'd have to come up with that amount for, what that looks like for you. So for me, that amount looks like, anywhere between 100 to $1,000. That's an amount that I could just put out there in the market and I won't feel any emotional connection to, right? So that's what I decided to do, is to trade those types of positions. And if I go to my journal and I zoom in here, I want you to see these, take a look at these two columns. I want you to look at the entry column and the entry total column, because the entry column is what I paid per contract and the entry total is the total cost of the entire position, right? And so what I decided to do was pick an amount that I felt like I could be emotionally detached from, right? So when I enter my trades, I can sit in these positions even if I experience a brief drawdown. As soon as I enter the position, I'm like, it's cool, because the amount that I might lose initially may not be too much, right? It's still within that threshold of $100 to $1,000. So if you look at my entry totals, there were some that, this is an outlier, so you can ignore that one. But you'll see the majority of them is like 2025 to 2000, 1800, 2000, 1000, and so on, right? 1000. But there was a few where I only took like a $200 position, just one contract, and made money. Okay, $900. So I took these cheaper trades because I wanted to see, like, okay, can I make money with these? Can I do it? And I did. So you have to select, or excuse me, not have to, let me not state it that way. What I'd recommend is that you select an amount of money, whether that's $100, 200, whatever that amount is. Pick an amount that you will feel no emotional connection to, and that will help you start to feel comfortable about day trading and focusing on the strategy itself and not be concerned about trading your P&L, because we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to focus on trading our P&L, because that's not the goal of day trading stock options. It's to grow your money, learn and understand the strategy, and apply what you've learned, right? And focus on that, because the money will come. And this is proof. I'm just trying to show people proof. Like, look, that's all I've been doing is focusing on the strategy, not the P&L. So although I have the money to make larger position trades, I don't do that. I'm just focusing on growing my money consistently. And that's the art of finance. That's what you do when you're trying to, in the world, or the art of finance, right? It's just focusing on growing your money. All right, we have 4 more minutes till the live session begins with my mentor. 4 more minutes, so let's do a rapid fire of Q&A. If you all have any additional questions, let's do a rapid fire. We have 4 more minutes before the session begins. I'm just simply waiting on the link to the live session. Oops. Let's see. All right. 4 more minutes until the live session with my mentor begins. So if you have any additional questions, we could do a quick rapid fire before my mentor begins. Close this, close this. Okay, let's see. Let me switch to this. Appreciate you all. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the follows. Thank you all for the support. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Love it. All right, 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. All right, so okay, 1 minute before we start. I'm just waiting for the meeting link from my mentor. Oh, let me remember to record. Let me record this. Now, for those of you who are new, for the first time, when we go live, the first person you will hear is Jack, which is a pro trader on my mentor's team. All right. So you'll hear him first, and then you'll hear my mentor later. His name is Scarface, aka Tony. All right. So they just provided the link. So let's go live here.
Mic check, mic check. Good morning. Can you guys hear me and see my screen? What's up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. What's up? All right, let me get this recorded and we'll get started here.
Recording in progress.
Alrighty. So yeah, coming into this morning here for the overall markets. So the SPY is basically opening up right around its previous day highs, opening up fairly neutral coming into today. As for my key levels here, what I'd like to see is the reaction that we have off your 636 here for the SPY. If you can maintain above your 636, I'd like to see this push back towards the upside. Similar thing here with the QQQ. I'd just like to see it maintain above your 573 for a potential push up and towards your all-time highs here on the SPY and the Qs. As for my top watches coming into today, we're going to keep an eye out on Tesla, higher time frame break. This one has a higher time frame break towards the upside. We're gapping up here in the pre-market as well, showing some strength compared to the overall market. What I would like to see is the hold above your previous day highs. If you can hold above your previous day highs, you can see this push back up and towards your 339, which is going to be your earnings high and above. So Tesla's going to be my top watch coming to market open. As for some other names I'm going to keep an eye out on, Apple, this one, really nice solid push on Friday, potential opening drive play back towards your previous day highs in play. As for NVIDIA, this one does have a flat top break forming here as well. What we like to see now is the break above your 183 hold for this continued push back towards the upside. So 183 is going to be a key pivot level here for NVIDIA. As for other names that I do like here as well, Google, coming back down in towards our 201.24. That's a key level that I like to see hold. Google also had a flat top break last week, and now we're breaking towards the upside. So if we do want to see some continuation, we like to see it maintain above this 201 for this pushback towards the upside. As for a few other names that I'm somewhat interested in, Palantir, either the retest back down in towards our Thursday's highs, or now it's going to be the break back above your previous day highs for continuation. HUD looks good here as well. Now, what you like to see is the reclaim back above your previous day highs, 116.50. And then we also do have MU, something that we don't normally trade often, but MU had news kind of got affected over the weekend, and a nice pop here in the pre-market as well. Key levels that we like to see hold is going to be this 124.50. Preferably, you like to see that drop right off the bat, maintain above 124.50 for this pushback up and towards your pre-market highs and above. As for some of the red folder news events that we do have later into the week, we have CPI, we have core PPI, and then we also have consumer sentiment that's going to be on Friday. So I do expect still a decent amount of volatility in the overall markets just based off of last week's price action. And then coming to this week with more red folder news events, we can expect some continuation as well. So as for the key levels, as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to keep an eye out on the SPY and Q's Thursday's highs of last week. And then top watch coming to today, at least right off the bat, we're going to keep an eye out on Tesla for a push above your previous day highs.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yo, what's up?
That's good. Yeah, coming into today, Tesla's going to be the main watch for me coming right into the morning. This one does look good for a potential move to the upside. I would like it above pre-market high specifically. We'll kind of see what the first 5 minutes does. However, within the first 5 minutes, I would like to see Tesla above potentially the pre-market high in a retest of that. Apple, continuation from previous week. Of course, Apple was showing a lot of strength Friday and just overall in the last week. So we'll see if we can get some continuation on Apple coming into today as well. And then more specifically, QQQ and SPY, I would like to see them also trend to the upside and show some strength. If they can show some strength, then a lot of these names can potentially go with it. But yeah, you can see right into the open here, Tesla already, like I said, pre-market high, look at that, already breaking above. So we'll keep an eye out on Tesla for the retest of the pre-market high, and we'll see if buyers do step up on that name. But Tesla's going to be the main watch right into the open here, clearly with the relative strength it does have.
Yeah, Tesla immediate retest, you can see within the first minute candle, now gravitating back towards the upside here.
A lot of buyers stepping up on Tesla here. 338 now broken as well. Retest level now will be either pre-market high, or depending on where this candle closes, we can also use 338s as a retest as well. Q is a little bit below previous day high.
Yeah, potential immediate retest on Tesla. The 340s are in play. Yeah, you can see the relative strength in Tesla here. Qs, a little bit of a pullback here while Tesla's showing a lot of strength above your 338.89. That's going to be the key level now. Your earnings high from a few weeks ago. That's going to be your key pivot level here on Tesla.
$338's retest for Tesla potentially in play. QQ rejected off that previous day high so far. So that one, we would like it above the previous day high for QQQ for continuation to the upside. AMD below the previous day low. SPY also rejected the previous day high. This one showing a little bit more weakness on SPY here. You can just see the amount of relative strength Tesla has compared to the rest of the market. 338s is going to be the retest. We're going to keep an eye out on 338s for this retest on Tesla for continued push up. But we're basically just looking for the first pullback on Tesla.
Yeah, first pullback we like to see get bought up on Tesla, preferably down in towards this 338.89 level.
Really quick, everyone. Remember, I said in the pre-market I was going to take a quick swing trade on Tesla, and the contract only cost $315. Hopefully, you all can see this. I just want to point this out really quick. $315. I got it right at the open because I talked about this in my pre-market prep, and it's already generated close to $160, right? So 44% return just right at the open.
Apple, you can see so far coming back down. NVIDIA coming back down as well. So Tesla definitely the strongest name out of all of them. In terms of the contracts we're going to be looking at for Tesla, we can look at the 342.50s or the 340s. Most likely when we do retest that 338 level, the 340s is what I'll be looking at for a move back up to high of day.
All right, with the Qs pulling back here, let's see if we can get this pullback on Tesla.
NVIDIA so far, pretty big drop on NVIDIA. Tesla coming back down here. Let's keep an eye out on this retest for Tesla. QQ still so far dropping overall.
All right, keep an eye on Tesla here.
Yep, spine cues dropping, a little bit of buyer stepping in here. Let's keep an eye out on this Tesla pullback. Contracts you'd be focused in on is either the 340 calls or the 342.50s.
Yeah, Tesla, I picked up some of the 345s. What I'm risking now is based off this 338 with the relative strength of the Qs here on Tesla. Picked up some of the 345s.
Tesla, this one does look good here. For myself, I couldn't enter there just a little bit too quick. If you were able to enter with Jack, that is good. However, what we'll see now for myself now is really a break of high day and then a retest of that level. But Tesla does look good for that continuation move back to the upside. If Qs can show a little bit of strength here as well, buyer stepping near low day, this could also accelerate Tesla. But for myself, now I'd just be waiting for a break of high day and a retest of that level. You can see Q's, a little bit of buyer stepping in here now.
Yeah, as for Tesla, what I like to see is it maintain above this 338. This is the key level for me. And then the Qs, I like to see the reclaim back above your 574.77. All right, for Tesla, this is the exact level I'd like to see hold, which is going to be this 338.
Okay, I'm actually keeping an eye on Tesla here for this retest. I want to see buyers step up aggressively. If buyers can step up on Tesla, I'd be interested in Tesla here, but we'll see if buyers do step up on Tesla here for continuation to the upside. Qs so far, you can see a little bit of buyers stepping in on Qs. In terms of the Tesla contracts, I'd be looking at the 340 calls. The 340 calls on Tesla, we need to see buyers step up aggressively here for continuation back up to higher day. So once we see the buyer's confirmation, then I'll look to enter into 340 calls on Tesla. Let's see if buyers step up. So far, a little bit slower on Tesla. We'll see what happens here. Qs right at that 1 minute range low. You'd like to see Qs break back above that 574.45 key level. See what happens with Tesla here.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the 340s. Is your trading view bugging, by the way, or no?
Mine's fine, but sometimes it glitches.
Yeah, I can't load the chart's not loading. I don't know why the chart's not loading. Tesla, a little bit of sellers right there. Let's see if buyers do step in. I need to see strong buyers stepping in on Tesla. And then I'm looking for high of day and continuation. QQQ also coming back up to highs here. Previous day high, we'll see if Qs can break back above previous day highs. Tesla so far, the one with relative strength. Let's see if buyers do step up here. All right, I just took these 340 calls on Tesla. 40 calls on Tesla looking for high day and continuation. Risk is a stop below the green candle 338s, and then target is high of day, and then continuation from there as well. If it can break above high of day, next level would be 342s, 343s, and then continuation. If you look at the 5 minute candle that just closed on Tesla as well, solid 5 minute candle closure. This one does have room. We need Qs to break back above high of day. If Qs can break back above previous day high, Tesla can have a nice candle closure above high of day for 342s.
Yeah, no, this one looks really good. We should see that pop here with the QQQ. If you can get above high of day, next level 343 here.
See buyers step up for a high day break here on Tesla. Qs, we'd like to see previous day high break here as well. You can see a little bit of sellers sitting here on Tesla right at high day, which is really that 341 key level, right? 341s, you can see sellers trying to hold it below that level. We need buyers to step up. If we can get that break, this one has room up into 342s, 343s, and like I said, continuation after that. But we need Qs to break back above previous day high, which is going to be important here for Tesla. Most other names, so like Apple kind of bouncing here. NVIDIA slowly bouncing as well. Really waiting on Qs for that main bounce. So Qs, if it can get up above previous day high, it'll help a lot of these other names show a little bit more momentum to the upside. So far, those names are a little bit weaker, in my opinion. Tesla definitely does have the relative strength compared to the rest of the markets, but we need to see Tesla, of course, like I said, above that 341 key level. You can see so far Tesla actually coming back down. We'll see if buyers do step up. We need buyers to step up aggressively here into the 341 area for continuation. So far, this one's kind of consolidating here right at that 338 key level.
Yeah, for Tesla, this is the exact level. Buyers basically have to step in at the exact same spot I did earlier, which is this 339. Let's see if we can get that push on the QQQ back up and towards high of day.
Yeah, AMD also just broke back above high of day, or the high of day from today. SPY right below previous day high. We want that to break back to the upside. QQQ right below previous day high. We need that to break to the upside as well. Tesla right at our key inflection point. We want Tesla to just hold up here and buyers to step up, but both NVIDIA and AMD are pushing up. Here's Q's breaking above previous day high. Let's see if Tesla can follow in that direction. Q's breaking above previous day high and high of day here. Let's see if Tesla buyers step up.
You can also keep an eye out on an NVIDIA reclaim back above your 1 minute range. This one has room back up and towards your all-time highs.
Yeah, AMD also breaking back above. So AMD retest as well would be the down close candle plus the 5 minute high. So down close plus 5 minute high retest on AMD does look good. That'd be around 171.90s. So you could look for 171.90s as a retest for AMD. This one is currently breaking back above into the previous day kind of levels, 173. Qs, nice momentum coming in on this on Qs. Let's see if buyers step up on Tesla. So far, Tesla not as strong as the rest of the names now, a little bit of consolidation. But if Tesla can come back into that 341 level, this one should see some nice strength. It just needs to break above 341 for buyers to really step in aggressively. For NVIDIA, like Jack said, this one, I do like it. If it can reclaim back above the previous day high, we can look for the retest of the 5 minute high, plus this down close candle of like 182.64s. But that one needs to break above high of day first. QQQ retest level is the previous day high, 574.86. And then Tesla, you just wanted to start showing some buying action here right at that 340 area.
Yeah, let's see if we can get that push here on Tesla. We need it above high of day. As for NVIDIA, if potentially we could get that retest of this now 182, I'd be interested. This one has room, as I mentioned, back up and towards your previous day highs and above. As with the QQQ at high of day now, we'd just like to see it maintain above high of day.
All right, Tesla coming back up here. Let's see that 341 break. That's going to be the key for us. Qs, like Jack said, we need to maintain above high of day on QQQ. NVIDIA right at high of day. A little bit of rejections on NVIDIA there. AMD also right at high of day. Tesla, let's see the 341 break. We need to see 341 break here with buyers stepping in aggressively. That's going to be the key on Tesla. Qs is coming down a little bit here. 5 minute does look good on Tesla if we can break above high of day here. We want Qs, some buyers to step in near this previous day high. Let's see Tesla high of day. There's high of day on Tesla. I'm looking at, there's 342s on Tesla as well. look to take some off here. I'm looking to take some off here on Tesla.
Yep, Q's bouncing here as well, right off for 574. Let's see if we can get this strong momentum. Look to take some off up into this 343 level and high day.
Yep, nice. I took some off here. Perfect. Look at that. 342.50 is already
Lovely
coming
call.
in.
This one should have
Perfect.
momentum now. Yeah, nice hold on the 5 minute. Looks really good right up into this 343. Q's bouncing here perfectly as well.
Yep, perfect bounce. Look to take some off here. Very key. Take some off. Take some off here on Tesla. 342.50 is already in there. Let's go. Nice trade there. Q's bouncing here as well.
You stupid.
Nice bounce on Q's. Next level on Tesla, 343s. There's 343s on Tesla, whole psych. This is going to be our key target. Takes them off at 343s. This is the key target. Tesla could show a little bit of resistance here at 343s. Nice, took more off into strength there on Tesla.
Next level we'll have on Tesla is 350.
Yeah, take some off here, and then now we can basically let it ride for continuation. But 343 is a key level, so take some more off. So higher day, 343s, and then now you can let it ride. Awesome. Anyone take that Tesla trade?
I did.
15-minute day. 15-minute day, guys.
So as I talked about, I took the trade I did in the pre-market prep. I said I was going to take a day trade for Tesla. I bought 5 contracts today, and I'm currently up 400, something bucks. I have one trailing contract. I sold 4 of the 5 into that push, right? Because my daily goal or my daily trading goal is only 300 bucks. So I'm currently above that, and I just have one trailing contract left. Now, if I switch to the swing trade, this is in a different account, right? Look at that swing trade. So it's currently up $225. You can see the net liquid value. The cost of that contract was only $315. So I'm trying to show people that even with Tesla, you could trade these cheaper contracts and still make money. You just have to perform the correct analysis and see when there's going to be a potential big push by your whatever choice, whatever stock you decide to trade. But I love Tesla because of the way it moves. And when it moves, it moves. So anyway, let me get back to the live session because you guys didn't join to hear me. You joined to hear my mentor. So let's resume. 3
was very key. Make sure you scale at 343, and then now we can just let the rest of the contracts ride. The retest level is going to be back in that 341, 42 level. We don't really want to see Tesla come back there. We want to see relative strength hold it up, but it can come back there and market structure would still be valid as long as Q's holds that previous day high and looks for high of day and continuation. You can see NVIDIA now also breaking back above. So NVIDIA does look good for continuation as well. The retest of that would be the 5-minute high, and then AMD actually coming back for a retest of the down close candle. Yeah, Tesla, just make sure you scale it up to 343. This one is just most likely going to either continue to break up aggressively as long as QQQ pushes up, or it can come back for the retest of the 341, 43 key area. And then this one will push back up after.
Yeah, with the Qs, as I mentioned, we like to see maintain above this 574.80s. That's going to be key. Seems like a couple of these semiconductors are pushing up higher. Tesla, now we just like to see it maintain this 5-minute range high. That's going to be key on Tesla. 341.41s is key.
Qs, we want to see it back above high of day. AMD, like I said, dipping into that one candle rule. NVIDIA, 5-minute high, really at this level is where you want to see NVIDIA hold. It can come into that down close candle that we put in near 182.50s as well. But you'd like to see NVIDIA hold this level for that next kind of leg up on NVIDIA after this push from low of day to high of day. Let's see what happens here. Nice buyer so far. We'll see if this gets some continuation. AMD, like I said, both AMD, NVIDIA, and Tesla key points here. Same with QQQ. You'd also like to see QQQ hold here for continuation for high day.
All right, so far Qs is holding. Let's see if Tesla can get that next push towards 343 and above.
You can see every time Tesla pushes up into this 343 area, you can see a little bit of sellers sitting there, right? So that's why we took some skills at 343, because we can see sellers actively sitting at that 343 area, right? So you want to realize profit there. But now if it breaks above 343, this will have another nice push up with QQQ if Qs can push above highs, right? So it's the same thing that we did at 341.42s, right? So we knew that if Tesla breaks above 341s, we'll get some nice momentum. That's exactly what happened. Now, same thing's happening at 343s, right? If we break above, we'll get nice momentum. However, we need to break above. Therefore, we scale out at 343s just to realize profit so we can sit through consolidation. That's kind of the thought process behind how you should scale on Tesla and how you should look at these trades. You can see a little bit of rejections off that 343s. Now you basically just want it to hold, like Jack said, the 5-minute high. QQQ also consolidating here. That's why Tesla's slowly, just coming back down a little bit. We need Qs to break above high day. That'll help the momentum on Tesla. For NVIDIA, this one right at that 5-minute high as well. You'd like to see buyers step up on NVIDIA near this area. And then AMD one candle rule. This one, a little bit of buyers stepping in on AMD as well here. But overall, the market is waiting for QQQ to really make a move.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of pullback here now on Tesla. I'd like to see it maintain above this 5-minute high here, which is also your down close candle on the lower time frame. So this is basically the exact level for me, at least on the 1-minute and on the 5-minute chart as well.
Yeah. Q's coming back down here, breaking below previous day high. You can see this is making Tesla come back down. Tesla, this is basically what you want it to hold. Down close candle plus the 5-minute high. This is where buyers need to step in on Tesla. Let's keep a close eye out on the rest of our contracts for this.
It would be nice if Tesla can essentially hold this level on the 5-minute and then push back towards the upside.
Yep. Let's see if buyers can step up right into this 5-minute high plus this down close candle. This is where price needs to be supported for a move to the upside. Q's previous day high, we need that reclaim as well on Q's.
Yeah, SPY's right at low of day, so I'd like to see buyers kind of step in for 5-minute range low here on the SPY, and then the Qs, we like to see the reclaim back above your previous day highs, as Tony mentioned.
Q's right at that previous day high. Let's keep an eye out on Tesla, what it does here near this down close candle plus the 5-minute high. NVIDIA coming back down. This one, buyers really aren't stepping up as aggressively on NVIDIA as you'd like it to. AMD, this is the exact level you want to see AMD hold, exact level you want to see AMD hold. If buyers step up on AMD, it doesn't look too bad for a move back up to high day as well. This one looks nice for that potential move as long as QQQ holds the previous day high or reclaim, sorry. AMD does look decent for this retest for a move back up to higher day. Tesla also still trying to hold that previous 5-minute high plus the down close candle. So still in Tesla as well for this potential continuation play.
Yeah, the 5-minute still looks solid. Qs actually ended up reclaiming above our key level as we talked about. So let's see if now QQQ can break above its high of day, and then SPY bounce off your low of day. And then for Tesla now, we like to see the reclaim back above your 341.41.